Okay. This is the first stream that I'm doing on my new Mac Mini Pro, so... Okay. Oh, let me hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Got to turn that down. There we go. This is the very first stream that I'm doing on the Mac Mini Pro, so things are not quite as organized as they normally are because I'm transferring stuff over. For example, I didn't have any music to play this morning because my music's on my MacBook Pro. Oh, it's just whatever. We'll have to adjust over the next few live streams. But we got a lot to talk about, of course. Let me just get this adjusted. Now, where are my camera controls? That's that. Where are my camera controls? Camera controls. Show hide preferences. Nope. Interview. Nope. Comments and reactions. Nope. Got that. Music. Show hide sound effects. That's over there. I'm not sure why. The only sound effect I have is this one. That's the only sound effect I have. Let me just see. Bear with me 1 minute. Let me see. There we are there. Let me see. Nope. There. Now. Turn that off. All right. I think, well, I have to just, I'm looking for the darn camera controls and I don't see, oh, there we go. Here we go. They're called camera effects and it's a little bit too, let me see, adjust this. Oh, I guess that's okay. I guess that's okay. I'm just trying to adjust between the Mac Mini has been fantastic. It's been absolutely phenomenal. So the problem is transferring everything over from my MacBook Pro to my Mac Mini. I thought I had everything set up, but I've opened up Ecamm. There's no music. I couldn't play music during the countdown. My graphics are gone. There's all kinds of things that I thought I had the ability to do. Let me just see here. Pursuing reactions on. So I have to do reactions like this, like I did during the live stream. Because I don't have them triggered into my Stream Deck yet. I thought I did, but I don't. Let me just put that down a little bit. There we go. So I got to do them manually. So we can do this. And a couple of other ones, but I got to do them by hand. Let's do some of our comments. Good morning. Let's see, those are gigantic. Those are really big. I don't want them that big. From our friend Sean Beckner. And he says, happy holidays, everyone. Of course, in the United States, Thanksgiving's coming up, isn't it? Let me just pull this mic around a little bit. There we go. Hey, you can't quite see it, but it's there. Just out of view, my audio is probably pretty good, right? Back to the studio setting. Let me just check. Yeah, everything's looking good there. Everything's looking good there. All right, we're just going to go. We're going to keep on going. The Mac Mini, I have a Mac Mini Pro. The highest everything except I got a 2 terabyte SSD, not the 8 terabyte was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Let me just check on something here. It was absolutely ridiculous. Let me Okay, so the audio sounds fine. Hi, Richard. Hope you're doing well. How is the M4 Pro chip compared to the M1 Max? It exports slower, but it's a faster time performance. So far, I have the M1 Max still on my MacBook Pro, and I haven't done any real export tests, and I'm not going to do, specs test where you're dealing with specs on paper and you can do this faster and that faster. It's very, very zippy. Everything I'm doing so far hasn't had any problems. I had Resolve open. I have Final Cut Pro open all at the same time. There's no slowdown anywhere. Everything is very, very zippy, very fast so far. Now, I haven't done any extensive tests. Final Cut Pro is really good, very responsive. But I'm amazed at that tiny little box, how much stuff that Apple has crammed in there. So I got the Mac Mini Pro, as I've talked about multiple times on this show. Initially, I'd bought the MacBook Pro Max, trading in my M1 Max. It brought the price down into the upper $4,000 range. I said, well, that's fine. I can deal with that. After I ordered it, I said, you know what? I don't want to trade in my M1 Max MacBook Pro because I like it a lot. Let me just check on something here. Yeah, we got a bunch of people watching as usual from X, YouTube, and Facebook. So I just wanted to check because I thought I had everything transferred over. Then when I went to start working with Ecamm Live, I realized I'm missing a lot of stuff. I don't have my Stream Deck profiles for some reason. I thought I transferred them over, but they're not working, so I have to. Plus, it's a new. This is the first stream I've done with Mac OS Sonoma, which, of course, my Mac Mini. This thing's, it's not even. It's just barely warm. I have not heard any fan noise at all yet. People ask me about the fan noise. I haven't. I'm in a completely quiet studio. I don't hear any. I've never heard any fan noise kick on yet. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you one thing. This is inside the studio. Let me pull that up. That's inside the studio where we got our presentation over there at where we got our studio. We were in the studio where we got the presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. I'm just adjusting things on the fly because I thought I had them adjusted and I did not. I thought I had them adjusted and I did not. That's all right. We'll get it. I'm just adjusting the border width of my little inset camera there. So this is a shot from inside the theater. It's the Developers Center right across, adjacent to Apple Spaceship Campus. And this is the scene. This was just a quick pic that I took from inside the theater. Beautiful, beautiful theater. I can't talk enough about how incredible the Final Cut Pro team and Apple they really stepped up the game this time. So the presentation was by leaps and bounds. It's not leaps and bounds, but it was by far the best presentation we've ever had at any Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. It really was. Now do you know what's weird? So this one is on the same side as my thumb. No, now opposite side. Okay. That's what it was doing when I was in the hotel room. It was doing the opposite side for the thumbs up. Whatever's there, that was back to being opposite. Good morning. My Mac Studio is perfectly silent 100% of the time as well. See, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. So when somebody asked me that, they kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Your stream gets choppy or start a little bit from time to time. I'm not saying that on my end. It could be the internet. Well, we're internet. It's the internet, so I can't. As a matter of fact, let me pull up that window so I can overlays, recording output options, high quality video mode, high, stream shape is wide, picture in picture transition. Somewhere around here, there is a, let me see if it's over here. It's not there. It's not there. I don't have the internet bandwidth window. I don't know where it is. Does anybody know? Anybody uses Ecamm? Where output? Video monitor. Virtual cam sharing window. Nope. Recording. Nope. Overlays. Let me see. Next overlay. Nope. Mic. Nope. Camera. Manage network. No, that's networked cameras. Source. Blank share screen video file. No, not there. Scene. Profile. I don't know where all this stuff is. Check for updates, preview, preferences. I just don't know. There's things that are missing in Ecamm Live that I have in my MacBook Pro that I have not ported over, obviously, to my Mac Mini yet. Let's watch this. Talking about the Mac Mini. Here we go. Talking about the Mac Mini. Let's go here. Oh, that's very strange. Oh, that's because I have that up. Huh. Let me turn that off. Let me turn that off. Here we go. So that was my Mac. I always do unboxing videos, whether I use them or not, I don't know. So it says the bandwidth window only exists beforehand when you're selecting where to stream during live. I believe you can't see it. I've seen it live on my MacBook Pro. It's a separate window, but I don't know where it is. I've looked through all the menus, edit, let me see. So bigger overlay, Paces overlay, profile. Scene, it's not in scene, source, camera. I don't know where it would be. Placeholder command, next overlay, previous overlay, camper shoot. I just don't know where it is. recording, show recordings, nope, output, nope, sharing window, what's this, options, stream size, high quality, here, maybe it's in here, transition, starts transition, nope. Window. Here we go. Why didn't I look under window? Of course, that's where it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, now I got it. I got it now. So yeah, I have it. I just didn't look under window, and of course, that's where it is. And the strength, the stream is very, very strong. It's very strong. So let me see if I can get the stream. I can show you the stream. Yeah, I can show it to you. So this is the stream. Oh, where in the heck is it? Got to do. There it is. So that's the stream. It's showing now. Now, of course, as soon as I do that, it shows that it's not that strong, but it was before I switched it over. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. I didn't realize that I can do that. Finder, QuickTime Player. Huh. Very, very interesting. See, I'm learning something as I go. So I just realized that I can show you an actual application or a window, whatever I wanted to do. See, now we're back up again. Here, let's go back there. MacBook Pro. See, now it's up. See, it goes up and it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. I can't control that. I cannot control that. That's internet. I have Xfinity, so they do have YouTube Live Studio will tell you the health of your stream. Looks good to me. Absolutely. All smooth in Portugal as well. So what did you all think about Final Cut Pro 11? Because that's what we're here to talk about, isn't it? Final Cut Pro 11, we're going to talk about the Mac Mini some more. We're going to talk about, I'm going to pull this down a little bit. So yeah, this is the first stream of the Mac Mini. This is the very first one with Ecamm Live, and Apple unboxings are very satisfying. Apple does an incredible job with their packaging. Let's just say that. Ecamm is very powerful. It absolutely is. I've been using Ecamm for years. I've been streaming on it. I streamed on it if you watched the streams that I had at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, which was phenomenal. It was the best summit I've ever gone to. I've been to every one since 2016. This was the best one I've ever gone to. It's hard to describe other than it was phenomenal. There's a lot of energy, they really surprised us. Tyler Darlington, Final Cut Pro 11 is great. Magnetic mask is a huge workflow changer. So people who bought or subscribed to other magnetic mask plugins, do you like Final Cuts just as well? Do you like it better? I've never subscribed to any of those. I've never used a magnetic mask of any sort. I love it. It seems very, very, very powerful. So I never tried the other ones because I didn't need it. So I'm waiting for universal audio compatibility to be able to update the whole system and then install Final Cut Pro 11. I'm running universal audio right now on Sequoia, and I'm doing this live stream, and I got my Apollo Twin X that I'm talking to. It seems to be working. I thought that they said they haven't approved it officially yet, but it works for the most part. So, although every time I boot up Final Cut Pro 11, it does the audio units scan every time, but it's only scanning the universal audio plugins. So maybe that's something they have to fix. I wish I could ask the Final Cut Pro team what's the future of ProRes RAW and what Nikon buying red means for ProRes RAW. Well, I'm not sure what you mean. ProRes RAW is still there. People still using it. I'm not sure what the future would be. Your stream is now much more stable, no more stutter or choppy. Very good. Final Cut Pro is awesome. No issues with macOS Sequoia. Oh, you're on the beta version. I'm not going to do that. Let me just do something here. Play general, recording, video, transitions, cross dissolve, slow cross dissolve, fade out, finish on a break phone. I'm just doing so I can change the settings as we're live, even though Ecamm's running. So far, now here's the deal. I have 3 screens. My main 34.5-inch LG monitor, which I've had it for years. It's a Thunderbolt one, and it works fantastically. 34.5 inches. And let me just do this, and I'll show you. So let me do this. Now, window, camera, output, video options, picture. See, normally, here's my turn on live demo mode. Don't ask me again. Normally, this is a screen that I have. This is the LG monitor. Okay, I have my main monitor here that I look in. I have the preview monitor over there. Wrong way, it's pointing over, whatever the heck it is, I have a program monitor, preview monitor. You can see all your comments are over here. You can see my audio is right below me there. Audio levels, the different scenes and things. There's the bandwidth. There's the bandwidth statistics over there. So this is my normal screen that I have, okay? But I have 2 other screens. I have another screen over there to the right, and then below me I have my MacBook Pro screen that I'm using. So I have 3 screens with the Mac Mini Pro. It's fantastic. So that's one to show you that. Let me turn that off. Output. Live demo mode. See, normally these things are all programmed into my Stream Deck, and I press a button and it does it. But now I got to go up to menus. So much power in a very little device. Do you remember when laptop editing was a nightmare and how about any computer is powerful enough? Exactly. So let's talk. The future of ProRes RAW. Manufacturers haven't been able to implement internal RAW recording in their cameras. Nikon buying red basically made that bogus patent. No, I see what you're saying. But that's not Apple. That's on, is it? I mean, you're saying you want more cameras to shoot ProRes RAW. I can shoot ProRes RAW with my Lumix S5 Mark IIX to an external recorder. Okay. These let me just check something here. Check, check, check. 1, 2, check, check, check. So these, I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit. These, my Lumix S5 Mark IIX can shoot ProRes RAW, but only to an Atomos recorder. Which, in other words, it shoots it out of the HDMI, full quality. It's a full frame and it's fantastic. But I shoot ProRes log with my iPhone 16 Pro Max and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Phenomenal. I love log a lot. Apple ProRes log. I haven't shot RAW because the file sizes are too big. How much is LG monitor? What model is this? Is an old one. This is 3-4 years old. It's one of their Thunderbolt monitors. Thunderbolt 2, I think. I don't even think it's Thunderbolt 3. Oh, there go the balloons. Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 2. And I've had it for years. 3 or 4 years. It's been phenomenal. It wasn't that expensive. I got it on sale, maybe at Black Friday sale or something. So let me just pull this down a little bit more. I'm just adjusting my stand-up desk. Yes, I want more cameras to support internal ProRes RAW, but I also want the format to be widely used by Dr. using Pro and Resolve and more features added to ProRes RAW. Okay. Have you tried Pixelmator? Good alternative to Photoshop. I've been using Pixelmator for years. For years. I won't run Photoshop. I don't need it, and I'm not going to subscribe to Adobe. So I've been using Pixelmator for years. So the fact that Apple bought them I'm very curious exactly what's going on there. No idea. Let's watch a movie from the summit. Did you? This was outside. Let me just turn my picture on here. Cam link. This was outside. This is all of us outside going from the theater, which I showed you the picture on the screen. This is all of the people at the Creative Summit. And we walked from the theater over to Apple campus, the spaceship campus, Apple Park.
You missed the light cycle.
Yeah.
Probably nobody pushed the button.
So over there is the entrance to Apple Park for visitors. I don't know if the employees go in there or not, but we're getting ready to walk across the street. So the Developers Theater, which was phenomenal, was right across the street from Apple Park.
Nobody pushed the button.
I'm glad you were there. You were about Apple Intelligence, because it's known.
So the whole experience at the Creative Summit was through the roof this year. It was excellent last year. And this year was even a step up. We were back at the Juniper Hotel, and it was really good. They had 2 main rooms, 1 big room, and then they had a smaller room. I got to wash my hands. They had a smaller room for, another room outside outside the restaurant for some of the sessions, and then the bigger room for some of the other sessions. So that was really, really cool. It was very, very good. So my experience, I've only been editing on Final Cut Pro 11 on the Mac Mini because that's the version that came up. I'm running Mac OS Sequoia because I have to. And Final Cut Pro 11 was the only version that was available. Now I have older versions on my MacBook Pro. So you know what I'm amazed is that, no, I'm not amazed, but it's really nice. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep my same monitor set up. LG monitor, another generic monitor to my right, and then below me my MacBook Pro, which I really like it because I can just look down and monitor the live stream and stuff on YouTube. And I wasn't sure if this was going to work, and it works flawlessly. AirPlay, that's what they call this. You go into the monitors and just choose the MacBook Pro, and it connects wirelessly to the Mac Mini. I dropped all Mac Pros many years ago since lower-end computers are much more powerful. Do you still use one, Richard? How many years have you stopped using them? I had a 2019 Mac Pro, which I loved it. before I got my MacBook Pro is phenomenal. I had a 2019 Intel Mac Pro, and it was fantastic. I had it up here on the desk. It wasn't that loud. I have an old cheese grater Mac Pro downstairs in my big recording studio setup because it runs all my legacy hardware, legacy drivers, legacy OS, legacy Logic, legacy Final Cut Pro that I can capture VHS tapes to and stuff. I'm not changing that. That's staying down there, and that's the old cheese grater Mac Pro. It was in one of the Intels. I have a PowerPC Mac Pro, but this studio downstairs is set up, and it's not going to be changed. I'm at the highest level of Mac OS, the highest level of drivers, etc., and I'm not changing that. Red doesn't support ProRes RAW. The patent was for true RAW. Red was the only camera with 2 internal RAW, meaning 0 processing. I own 2 Reds, but didn't Red sell the patent, the RAW patent? I think that's what they're talking about. I don't even have my outside camera set up so I can show you the backyard. It's working on my phone, but I couldn't get it hooked up to Ecamm Live. There's some kind of a magic situation there, and I don't know what it is, but I couldn't get it working today. Maybe it's Mac OS Sequoia. I don't know. But anyway, for the most part, this stream is working pretty well. Probably about 80%, 85%. I have some things. I have a Stream Deck XL, which I really like. It's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 4, 7 across 4 rows of buttons that I can press hardware things. It didn't transfer over. I exported the profile from a MacBook Pro, but when it opened up here, it's not, the stuff's not right. I got to reprogram things. ProRes RAW is the compressed RAW format that Red had that patent for. The stipulation was that they can only record that format internal to the cameras or manufacturers that paid licensing. Is ProRes RAW a compressed format? I thought the idea with RAW is it's not compressed. But I don't know for sure. I remember when ProRes RAW was introduced, it came out at NAB Monday. On a Monday at NAB, Apple updated Final Cut Pro, and they had ProRes RAW. I remember that. Nikon owns Red. You can shoot RAW or ProRes, not both. I don't know I know what RAW is. RAW is the raw data, with no processing. Now, Blackmagic RAW has some kind of processing. That's how they get around. It's not true RAW. ProRes RAW, I don't know how that works. It's not something that I'm going to be shooting. I mean, I love Apple Log, ProRes Log on my iPhones. Absolutely love it. So I like that a lot, but I don't see shooting ProRes RAW or any RAW for me anytime in the near future. I just don't see it. We got a lot of people watching today. We're going to hit 100 people here shortly. A lot of people over on X, a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on YouTube. All 3 platforms. So I'm going to... Blackmagic RAW internal debayers the RAW, so it's not a true RAW format, which is why they get around the patent and can record RAW internally. Yeah, so the cameras are the issue because the Atomos recorder can record ProRes RAW. And my Lumix S5 Mark II X shoots RAW out of the HDMI. You can shoot RAW out of there. And depend on what's the other end of that, whether it's a B-RAW recorder or an Atomos recorder, it'll capture the raw data and convert it to ProRes RAW or to Blackmagic RAW, depending on which of the formats that you have. Let's watch another, let me see what I got here, another movie. So I have to go over here, turn that off. This is a nice video. It's a short one. Michael Cioni, as usual, did a phenomenal, it was the keynote, they call it the keynote, and he talked for 90 minutes straight. On stage, no teleprompter. He had, you can see he has his iPhone. He had a few notes in his iPhone that he'd glance to every once in a while. But this is a nice little clip. I'm going to put up more of these clips from the summit, but this is a nice little clip where he gives me a shout out.
Now the mobile space is on fire, and I see people walking around using iPhones as part of their kits. And that's part of their kit. Sometimes it is the kit, right? And for other people, it's an accessory to the kit. That's what Richard's doing right now. It's part of the whole system. It's so powerful and simple. I admire he's got a monopod, he's got dual record audio. I mean, this is it. It's the one-man band is not actually lo-fi anymore. It's amazing. Teams of one were never possible. It doesn't even make sense when you think about it in English. Teams of one. It's like, I'm it. He's it. It's amazing, right?
So that was Michael Cioni. He did 90 minutes. And I recorded the whole segment, but Strata also recorded it with higher end cameras. So they're probably, I don't know if they're going to put out the entire 90 minutes, but they're going to probably put out either in segments or they might put out the whole 90 minutes. Who the heck knows? So they'll have the better quality version. But until they put that out, I'm going to put out some clips of his presentation over the next several weeks. Correct. That's why I stopped shooting with Blackmagic. Plus, Red Raw can go directly into Final Cut Pro. B-Raw can, if it will be able to as well. They announced that. Is Final Cut Pro 11 for Mac Mini worth getting, and would you prefer using free DaVinci Resolve? Well, try it out. Try it out. You can get a 90-day free trial of Final Cut Pro. 90 days for free. Try it out. Try out the DaVinci Resolve free version as well. See which one you like better. I have both. Right now, there's 20% off on DaVinci Resolve Studio for Black Friday. So consider, if you want to buy it, 20% off is a good purchase price. It's pretty cool. And is it worth getting? Of course it's worth getting. Final Cut Pro, try it for 90 days. It is a camera problem for sure, but Nikon buying Redwood is the result of a lawsuit regarding this RAW, so that company acquisition should be made more wide adoption of ProRes RAW internal. Have you ever used Blender? And if so, is it easy to learn? I don't know. Nope, never used it, and I have no intentions of using it. So one of the things that, they spent when the presentation, the Final Cut Pro team presentation, first off, here's the setup. We're on 3 buses. They drop us off at a strange place we've never been to before. We have no idea other than I think there must have been a sign that said the Developer Center, okay? And we're thinking, okay, what's going on? We're supposed to be going back to Spaceship Campus. Well, last year at the Spaceship Campus, the Apple campus, the big circular thing, they dropped us off there, and half of us got a tour on the outside, all through the grounds and everything, and other people were inside. And they did a presentation in a kind of a normal office setting, classroom setting. There were just chairs on a flat surface, a flat floor, and then the Final Cut Pro team was up front. That's when they introduced Final Cut Pro 10.7. Now, the presentation was fine last year, but people in the back could not see the bottom half of the screen because it's flat. And I talked about that on one of the Final Cut Pro TVs and coffees after the event, that I heard complaints they couldn't see the screen. And I said, please put us back into a theater, because when we at One Infinite Loop, we were in a theater. Nice theater, great acoustics, seats were down, going down like this so everybody could see the screen and the presentation. Well, they did it above and beyond. The developers theater, it was like being at a Mac World, like a Mac event with Steve Jobs going to come out any minute, or Tim Cook. It was phenomenal. They put us in the theater. It was dark. There were graphics on the screen, motion graphics and stuff. Music was playing in the background, but it was dark, and we stayed there for about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. It built up suspense as to what was going to happen. It was really, really good. Then Bill Davis comes out from the Final Cut Pro team, starts off the event, and he said, please don't take any pictures or screenshots and post it on social media. He said, we'll talk about that after the presentation's over. I think the first presentation was Logic Pro. They spent a lot of time on Logic Pro. But Logic Pro is an app for recording studios and musicians. It is not Pro Tools. It is not really meant for doing post-production work like dialogue and stuff like that. It doesn't have all the tools necessary that professionals need, which is why everybody sends their stuff to a Pro Tools house. It was never meant for that. And even though I use it for post-production audio a lot, I edit my podcast in it, and I really like it. It's really a tool for musicians, for creating music. You could score things for production. I will try Final Cut 11 for free. By samples I have seen, the interfaces seem to be more intuitive than DaVinci Resolve. Looks more like fun to use than DaVinci. Has a learning curve, I think probably get Final Cut. Final Cut $299 to keep forever. However, if you're in school, if you're taking a class, or you're a teacher, you can get all 5 Pro apps for $199. You can get all 5 Pro apps for $199. So if it was me, I would consider, you get Logic, Final Cut, Motion, Compressor, and Stage Manager. I would consider getting a class at a community college, getting a student ID, and buying the educational version of Final Cut, Logic, Compressor, and Motion. It's $199 for all 5 of them. If you're a student or a teacher. Educational, it's the educational version. All right. Let's go back to our movie. So here's Fitness Plus. Fitness Plus was phenomenal. They have an incredible setup for doing their workouts, filming their workouts. All robotic cameras. And when I say robotic, I don't mean the kind that are attached to the ceiling. I mean, these are robots on the ground that are rolling around, following the people doing the setup. They do 3 3 petabytes of data a year. 3 petabytes. That's how much they do. They do multiple, everything's multicam, all these cameras flying around. They have a big crew of people that takes care of producing, filming, acting in Apple in Fitness Plus. I was very impressed. I filmed their entire presentation as well, and I'm not putting out any entire presentations, but I will put out clips going forward of some of these presentations. 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe some of them will be 10 minutes over the next couple of weeks, maybe the next month up to Christmas. Their presentation was phenomenal.
To ensure we could consistently produce this volume with high quality, 5 days a week, 12 months a year, we needed an amazing space to bring this vision to life. The solution was to build one of the most technologically advanced production studios in the world.
And that's what they did. They produced one of the most technologically advanced production studios in the world. But all the cameras were were on robots, either a robot that rolled around or an arm from above. I didn't see anybody manning any camera, and the cameras were very, very high end. Very, very high end. Let me just do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Hold on one second. So let me just here. Let's do this. I don't buy that Logic a tool for musicians. Otherwise, it would have a video viewer built in. It wouldn't have time code support. It's not a music DAW. It's not a music DAW. It's a DAW, digital audio workstation. No, it's absolutely built for musicians. Apple has said it multiple times. It's for making music. That's its primary reason. And the reason it has a built-in video thing is because you can score your film with Logic Pro. That's why it has a built-in video thing. Timecode, I've used timecode in my recording studio all through the 80s. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I used timecode, SMPTE timecode, in my recording studio in the 1980s. So timecode has nothing to do with being a video. Let's look at this real quick. It is specifically, Apple says it over and over again, it's for making music, it's for scoring films. Can you do post-production audio work? Yes, but that's not what it's designed for. It is missing tools. If it wasn't missing the tools that Pro Tools has, people wouldn't use Pro Tools. Even Fitness Plus sends their mix out to Pro Tools house. They don't use Logic Pro. They use Final Cut Pro, but they don't use Logic Pro. Let's go over here. Let's see if this is going to work. This is not going to work. Let's go over here and go to... Here we go. So this is Logic Pro Creative Smarter Than Ever. And this is what it says. Powerful creative tools for professional songwriting, beat making, editing, and mixing. That's editing audio. The fact that it has the ability to play a video or a movie does not make it a post-production tool. It's not. Whatever professionals need, Logic has a limited amount of the tools that Pro Tools has. Pro Tools is the industry standard. Everybody sends their mix out to Pro Tools. Now you can create scores with Logic. I do limited post-production audio in Logic, but I don't have the demands that a filmmaker has. Hello from Greece, Richard. In your new Mac Mini M4 Pro and Final Cut Pro, how many 8K videos play smooth? I don't have any 8K videos. I just shoot 6K. 6K is the maximum that I do. $6K is the maximum that I do. And there's people that'll do those kind of tests. That's not what I'm going to be doing. But I will, I've been using it so far and everything's been going very, very smoothly. I can tell a difference between this and my MacBook Pro, but the MacBook Pro is also very, very good. It's also very, very good. So let's watch this. That was that one. Let's watch one more. So here's Mac Mini Pro. Expo Walkabout. Let's watch a little bit of this. This is the Expo. How you doing? Pretty darn good. What about the presentation yesterday? I mean, the theater and all that.
Oh, it was beautiful. That was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Next prize is Clip for Creatives, a move. It's a 1-year license, and it's going to go out to Paul Grimshaw. 6-month.
As well as, I'm going to use this mic. Actually, I got two mics. So I have a handheld. It's not a Rode, even though it says Rode. It's a DJI Mic 2 inside a Rode little contraption here. And I have my DJI mic right here. But so this was, let me turn my camera on there. This was the scene. This is the Juniper Hotel lobby. This was the scene. They set up the Expo night right in the lobby. I set up Ecamm Live on my MacBook Pro with two cameras, the MacBook Pro camera and I had one of my iPhones as a roving camera set up to Ecamm Live, so I walked around, but it would get a little choppy and stuff. So there's Philip, Trevor. Here you go. My iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is my setup. I'm set up with the MacBook Pro at a table here, and then I have the iPhone 15. I'm using one to monitor the live stream so I can frame it up somewhat, but it's a 5-second delay or whatever. I'm monitoring Facebook. And then I got this MacBook Pro 1080p camera, whichever that is. We want to thank our sponsors, Amu, FMC, and Roger Bolden over there at Cormel, who sponsor me coming to the Final Cut Pro Creator Summit. And all you who bought me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. That's appreciated. It's right here. Buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. I mean, you've really stepped up. There's a lot of, bought me a lot of coffees and hamburgers and stuff. and it's really, really appreciated. Absolutely. So yeah, it was a little bit choppy. I was actually streaming in 720p because of the bandwidth requirements of the hotel Wi-Fi. So I figured it'd be better to do that. Whatever the argument for logic, ultimately it makes Dolby Atmos mixing possible, yes, and it's a format Apple wants to push on people, and the most common place to experience that format is the theater. Don't disagree with that. All right. You can't mix Atmos on Final Cut Pro, but you can edit for Dolby Vision in Final Cut Pro. Odd, to say the least. Yep, that makes complete sense. I'll be using the same mic configuration tonight. You mean the DJI Mic 2? Have it right here. DJI Mic 2. Is that what you're talking about? Works out fantastically. What was the program, Color Grading in Final Cut Pro, Bringing Your Vision to Life by speaker Mark Spencer at the Summit all about? Was it a comparison with color grading in DaVinci Resolve? No, DaVinci Resolve is a very sophisticated color. Once again, DaVinci Resolve was in all the Hollywood studios, the color application for years. It's the king. It's one of the kings. It's one of the primary coloring tools that they use in Hollywood. So Final Cut's not as sophisticated as that. I think he was, I missed that one, but I think he was just doing all the color correction inside of Final Cut. I think that's what he was doing, wasn't he? That's what he was talking about. Very, very cool. So I had hundreds of dollars from Final Cut TV and Coffee. There's another one. Thank you very much. Supporters, viewers. It's going to the other screen. Here we go. This was one of the supporters over here that supported my Final Cut TV going to the Creative Summit. It's expensive, as you can imagine. It's very, very expensive going to the Creative Summit. The Buy Me a Coffee crew, the people that supported me and my trip, I mean, I went to Habit twice, Habit Burger Place, and I went there twice, so each time was $20 for a cheeseburger and fries and a drink. So these people supporting me over there, and a lot of you did, absolutely phenomenal. You gave me hundreds of dollars for this trip, so it worked out really, really well. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's go back over here. This is a little choppy because the stream was a little bit choppy. Like I said, I couldn't do much about that. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. I just wanted to give you a
sample of the live. Here's the lobby area of the Juniper.
Tyler Stallman.
It had to catch up. There you go.
You saw him on Facebook?
Yeah, I see him on Facebook. One moment. Right? Hey, here.
You're going to come on in a second. It's about a 5-second delay.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Can you like it? Are you? Yeah.
So here's what I was doing. I had a camera, was set up continuity camera to my MacBook Pro. So this is the camera that I was roving with. When you do continuity camera on an iPhone, there's nothing on the screen. You can't see anything. You have to monitor on the MacBook Pro. So this is one of the cameras that I had. But when I'm walking around with this camera, I have to be able to monitor what the camera is shooting in order to frame interviews and stuff. Well, the MacBook Pro is back there on the table, so I can't see that. So what I did was I set up a second camera to monitor the live stream. So this camera was shooting continuity camera back to the MacBook Pro. This camera was monitoring the live stream, but it was 5 seconds delayed. So this would shoot it back to the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro would send it out to the internet. Ecamm would send it out to YouTube, Facebook, and X. And then that would come back to the other camera so I could see it, but it's 5 seconds off. So that's what I was doing for the live stream. And like I said, I knocked it down to 720p because the hotel internet couldn't handle the 1080p, video streaming. So right now I'm streaming in 1080p. Let me just check on something here. Just going to keep on checking, make sure, there we go. Make sure everything's working well. So far it is. But listen, there's a couple of things that have gone on. Now I'm using Final Cut 11 with the Mac Mini. That's all I have with the Mac Mini. If I want to go to an earlier version of Final Cut, I have to use my MacBook Pro. So I'm planning on sticking with the Mac Mini. It's very, very smooth. Everything's very, very smooth. Editing is very smooth. I can have both Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve open at the same time, which I have a tendency to do because I can send a file from Final Cut over to DaVinci. DaVinci, I can do text-based editing. They have a far superior way of handling captions, and you can edit an entire row of captions. Just click on the row, and you can change every caption in there. You can change the background, you can change the font, you can change the size, you can change the position and all that stuff. Very, very sophisticated. That's what you saw on the Michael Cioni video and the Fitness Plus video. That's what I was doing. I used that for captions. Now, here's one of the things with the Final Cut Pro implementation of transcribe to captions that I expect them to fix, or maybe fix is the right word. I expect them to add additional options. Once you transcribe audio, there's no reason you can't transcribe the titles. As have the option, transcribe to captions right now, but you can also, there's no reason why you can't add transcribe to titles. Because I think most people, unless you specifically want captions, most people want burned in titles. So DaVinci Resolve has all that built in. They have text-based editing. They have very sophisticated titles. Now, the Lumberjack Systems has a plugin right now that you can transpose captions to titles, which is very, very cool, and I highly recommend it. However, the limitation that it has, and the limitation that the current implementation of Final Cut has with transcribes to caption, is Final Cut transcribes the captions as full sentences. You don't have any option to restrict those captions to say, I use 14 characters, typically. I use 14 characters. So you don't have the option to restrict the captions to 14 characters. It does the entire sentence. So if the sentence is this long, your caption is going to be that long. I don't want that. I don't want that. The Lumberjack app, which is really, really good, it's on sale, I think, for $15 right now till sometime in December. So I'd recommend getting that. They take the entire caption right now and change it into a title. So once again, your entire title is going to be this long. I don't want it that long. I want it this long. I want short, quick captions for what I use it for. So I expect one of two things to happen. Either, here's what I expect to happen. I expect Final Cut to add transcribe to titles. And then you maybe can do a limited, you can change your character length for each title, automatic. I don't want to do it all manually. I know I can do it manually. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to do that, I might as well start from the beginning with one title and just duplicate it and change them all. I don't want to do that. So I expect Final Cut to add transcribe to titles, or it would be nice if Lumberjack's intelligent assistants, not Lumberjack, and Philip Hodgetts and Gregory Clark, their app maybe could do a restriction on the amount of the caption. I don't know if that's possible, but I need shorter captions. That's what I use it for. I'm not doing captions for some kind of a specification for government or anything. I just want to do quick 14-character captions and switch them with the background and change the font and change the title and stuff. So I expect that to be forthcoming. This is version 11. Let's see what this does. It does balloons. Version 11.0.0. Final Cut Pro 10 is in our past. It's in our past. Final Cut Pro 11 is the future. So going forward, everything is Final Cut Pro 11. Does that mean Final Cut Pro 10 stops working? No, of course not. But as far as Apple's concerned, we're in the new era now. We're in the era of Final Cut Pro 11. Does your MacBook have HDMI out? If so, the Mars M1 enhanced to a pretty... It has an enhanced to a pretty cool video transmitter. Yeah, it has HDMI out. It's the M1 Max has HDMI, because that's why this one monitor I have over on this side feeds. It was fed by HDMI. So right now, let me think how I have this. My LG monitor is being powered by the Mac Mini via Thunderbolt 5. The monitor to the side is being fed HDMI. The MacBook Pro, right below me, so I have three monitors. MacBook Pro's below the LG is air something, not AirDrop, whatever that air thing is, it's not airport, it's being fed via wirelessly from the Mac Mini. So it all works out well. It's all working out well. Oh, the Mars M1 is a monitor, transmitter, and receiver. Pretty handy. Gotcha. I was a little confused what you were referring to there. A little bit confused. So do you have any, listen, I just got back on, what day did I get back? Saturday. It was a week ago I got back. And traveling takes its toll. I like going to a place and I like being at a place, but the trip back home is like, it's a lot of, getting back into different time zones and eating habits and stuff. So it took me a couple days to get back into my regular routine. AirPlay, that's it. AirPlay, thank you, Tech Guru. So the MacBook Pro is being fed by AirPlay, HDMI on one monitor, and Thunderbolt 4. Oh, speaking of Thunderbolt, let's go over there real quick. I have I'm getting that Thunderbolt 5, 4 terabyte Thunderbolt 5 drive from OWC. Now, let me just pull this up. It's $599 for a Thunderbolt 5. Okay, it's $599 for 4 terabyte Thunderbolt 5. I got the Mac Mini. I got the 2 terabyte hard drive because Apple wanted $600 to go from 2 terabytes to 4 terabytes. $600 to go 2 terabytes. $600. I said, I ain't doing that. It's too much. So I got the 2 terabyte, and I'm spending the $600 on a 4 terabyte SSD with a 3-year warranty and with Thunderbolt 5 connectivity, which I have on the Pro. It's just as fast as the MacBook Pro, as the Mac Mini SSD. You're talking 3 to 4 to 5,000 megabytes per second speed plugged in via Thunderbolt 5. So instead of spending $600 on 2 terabytes, I'm spent $600 and I got 4 terabytes, double that. So now I have, this is a Mac Mini. It's not going to be traveling. It's on a little shelf over here. I'll plug that 4 terabyte Thunderbolt 5 SSD in. It'll sit there, and I'll have effectively 6 terabytes at the same speed as the internal SSD. And what I wanted to tell you was this. There's a couple of things. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Let's go over to here. This is the drive. Okay. Now, use this coupon code OWC Radio 24 and you get 15% off. 15% off. Where is showing all scenes? So you can get, this is over on our Facebook group, Final Cut TV and Radio on Facebook, but you can get this drive for $90 off. So instead of $599, it's like $500 or $509. So I ordered mine using the code OWC Radio 24, courtesy of Serena Catania, and this drive is going to be here next week. So I'm really excited about that, to add that to my Mac Mini Pro. Really excited. Now, let's go over here. Something else I wanted to see. So here's something else that you may or may not know about. Well, maybe you're not going to know about it. But anyway, the deal is that we predicted on this show Final Cut Pro 11 7 months ago. In May of 2024, on this show, Final Cut TV and Coffee, we predicted, I said, Final Cut Pro is going to jump from 10.8 to Final Cut Pro 11 within 6 months. Well, back in May, it was still Final Cut Pro 10.7. It wasn't even 10.8. 10.8 didn't come out until toward the end of June. So back in May of last year, I said Final Cut is going to jump from 10.8 to 11 the same way that Logic Pro did. And indeed, and I said we're probably going to see it at the Creative Summit in November. That was 6 months before the Creative Summit. Indeed, that's exactly what happened. Another comment here. Hypothetically, if you were the head of the Final Cut Pro team, list 5 things you would dream of Final Cut Pro 11 transcribed to text and text-based editing. I'm guessing is 2 of them. Yes. Well, text-based editing for sure. Transcribe to titles, yes. I know. Here's the thing. People think captions and titles, they kind of use them interchangeably. No. Captions are very, very specific and have restrictions. And the person at the other end of a video that has captions embedded, they determine how the captions look. You're like sending a raw caption file over there that has restrictions. The person on the other end determines how the captions actually look and whether they show up and stuff. So this is not the same. But the fact that it's already transcribing to a text format, in this case captions, doesn't seem like it's that hard to go from transcribe to captions to transcribe to titles. That's what I expect to happen. But in the meantime, get the Intelligent Assistance app over there in the App Store. It's on sale right now. Let's go over there and look. It's on sale right now. Let me just pull that up. Let's see what we have here. Send a text. So we have this converts a caption file to titles, and I think it's on sale for $14.99. I think it's on sale for $14.99. Let me see something here. Yeah, it's on sale for $14.99, I think. I already have it, so it doesn't show the price. But this converts, you can see over here on the window, converts captions So I recommend getting this regardless of what, for the time being, regardless of what the Final Cut Pro team does with captions. And they're transcribe the caption, transcribe the title, transcribe the caption, transcribe the title. It seems that transcribing the captions is even more complicated than transcribing to just titles. And if you do a title, you can hopefully limit the length of the title. You can change the background. You can change outlines, shadows, change the fonts, change the colors, and all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And I expect that to happen. So this is Final Cut 11. This is Final Cut 11 from the very, very beginning of Final Cut. This is Final Cut 10 is our behind us. Final Cut 11 is here. Time to load my gear and head to my shoot. Looking forward to multicam edit with Final Cut Pro 11 tomorrow. Very, very cool. So, like I said, going forward, between now and the end of the year, I'm going to post some clips from the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I have over 1 terabyte of data, of video from the summit, just from this year's summit. I have multiple terabytes from all the other summits that I've done. But just from this summit, what does this do? I forget what this does. So this does that. That one does that. 4th of July. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to be posting more videos. Michael Cioni's video, Fitness Plus video, Tyler Stallman. I recorded his whole presentation. And what else do I have? I have bits and pieces of other ones. I have a lot of behind the scenes kind of things. And let me just pull this up. So the Juniper, it was exactly the same as it used to be. I don't think we were there in 2019 last time, so 5 years ago. I think it's exactly the same carpet, same everything, which is fine. It's a great place to have the Creative Summit. I really, really like it. Thumbs up to future media conferences. Thumbs up. Where is that? Oh, there it is over there. Thumbs up to the Final Cut Pro team. Future media conferences, Apple, you did a great job this time over there at the summit. Everybody is raving about it. So fantastic job. Now, let me close this. Close this. Going to keep that going. So there's a couple of things. Go over there and you can join our Facebook group, Final Cut TV and Coffee. You can go over there and join our Facebook group on Final Cut TV and Coffee. You can get to continue this conversation over there after the fact. On X, I have the Final Cut Pro community. We have 230 some members at this point. It's just started, it's just growing. It got to 100, now it's up 230. I think we had 30, 40 people just since the summit. Does Final Cut Pro team seem happy about users' reaction after presentation? I think so. I think the majority of people at the summit were very, very pleased. Look, on these live streams, I've had how many hours of live streams that I do at the summit? From my hotel room, the live stream at the Expo and other things. I streamed every night and every morning. 6, 7, 8, 9 hours I had over there. The vast majority of people, over 90% of the people, are very positive about Final Cut Pro 11. So I know I like it. I wasn't sure. I got there and I said, oh, is it going to be 10.9 or whatever? But I was, like I said, we talked about Final Cut Pro 11 last May. So 7 months ago, over 7 months ago, I said Final Cut Pro is probably going to jump from 10.8 to 11, which is exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. So we had our first, a little bit of snow yesterday. Just a little bit. I'll play you a little move. This is my backyard driveway. First snow of the season for us. Now, that was filmed with my iPhone 16 Pro Max, 240 frames per second slow-mo, and 1080p. Kudos to the Apple Final Cut Pro team. Magnetic mask works like a charm. I hope Brazilian Portuguese support to transcribe to captions soon be released. Until it is, Intelligent Assistance also has a transcription. It'll transcribe the captions to different languages as well. So absolutely kudos to the Final Cut Pro team. I feel like Richard Nixon. What the heck is that? Baltimore, Maryland? I don't think so. I like the ability to be able to hang up when people call, especially during a live stream like this. So what else do we have? Tim is calling. Tim called me at the Creative Summit. I have a video that I'll put on one of my live streams. Like I said, I'm going to put out multiple videos, probably 6, 7, 8, 9 videos over the next couple of weeks. Behind the scenes stuff. Steve Martin and I were together. I helped him out with a little issue he was having. We've been good friends for years. I met Mark Spencer, of course, Bradley Olson, all these people are there. I'm going to try to get together with some of the people that went to the summit for a live stream Tuesday afternoon. So look for that. I haven't finalized everything yet, but we'll probably get together with a bunch of us and we'll talk about the live stream. So that snow video that I showed you, it's been on Facebook for 24 hours and it's got 4,000 views already on Facebook because it's a local, I use Facebook for local community stuff, and that video's got like 4,000 views already in 24 hours, which for me, that's pretty good. I get a lot of views, local views on Facebook, of course. Tim is calling, yes. Besides Final Cut Pro, any more highlights we need to be in the loop. Besides Final Cut Pro, there's 2 people that I talked to so they had a Q&A. We're going to do a special version of this about the Apple Q&A because I took notes this time, very specific notes, and we'll go over all the notes. I talked to 2 people at the Q&A. Number 1 is the new woman who's in charge or promotes Logic Pro. And I pulled her aside and I said, can you please put voice isolation in Logic Pro? Voice isolation, come on, it's been out for a year and a half. Final Cut's had it, LumaFusion has it, Apple, it's open source, anybody can use it, and Logic doesn't have voice isolation yet? Come on, get voice isolation in Logic Pro. And then I took the guy who's in charge of the Final Cut camera. And I showed everybody this the whole time I was there. You take a Final Cut camera, press the record button, and you can switch lenses. I can't show it very effectively, but you can switch lenses. I don't mean you can switch lenses while you're recording live. And I took it up there and said, look, this is the camera. Hit record, switch lens, switch lens, switch lens, switch lens, switch lens. You can switch to 4 different lenses while it's recording. Final Cut camera, can't do it. That's the native Apple camera app. Final Cut camera, you can't do it. So I showed him in person. I'm sure he knows about it. I'm sure other people have complained about it. I won't use Final Cut camera until it can switch lenses, cameras while recording live. Oh, I forgot about that. No transcribe to caption for Intel Macs. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that. Getting better audio editing tools inside of Final Cut Pro 11 will be welcome for many. Final Cut Pro has a mixing board that they haven't released yet. So that should be something forthcoming. Maybe if Apple buys Blackmagic, I don't see that happening for multiple reasons. What new and exciting things were shown during the networking expo night? So Strata was there. Michael Cioni's company was there. They have a very innovative idea about organizing and managing your media from multiple sources. Intelligent Assistants was demoing their transcribe to caption, and I think the other one is transcribe to changes the languages. I think that's what it does. The other one does. So those were exciting. A Move was there. Sam Messman was there with the Move. They were a sponsor. So I had four sponsors. We had Coremount, Roger Bolton's Coremount. We had a Move, A-M-O-V-E, which is Sam Messman. He's involved with that new company. We had, of course, FMC, who sponsored Final Cut TV going to the Creative Summit. And then we have this. The Buy Me a Coffee crew. The Buy Me a Coffee crew gave me hundreds of dollars to buy coffees and things over there at the Creative Summit. Now, Buy Me a Coffee crew, this is what they bought. The cheeseburgers, French fries, and I got iced tea typically over there. This is what you bought with buymeacoffee.com. This is where your money went. I bought hamburgers and I bought a steak and cheese something or other. And it was great. I bought them twice, but each one was like $20, which doesn't surprise many people being California and stuff. But this is the meal that they bought. So this is me taking a picture of, this is the lobby outside of my hotel room. This is the lobby. The carpeting's the same from 5 years ago. I think the walls are the same color and stuff. And then here is the Apple Theater, which is very cool. This is inside the theater. This is what the theater was. And we sat here for 15, 20 minutes and waiting for the presentation to come on. This was like an actual Apple event. It was very, very, very cool. And the theater was packed. There were a couple hundred people in there. It's a small theater. The theater was packed. But they had animations on the screen, and they had a stage. The sound, as you can imagine, was fantastic. So that's part of the deal. Buy Me a Coffee crew did a great job. Don't want to forget them to buy as sponsors, and you can go there and support my channel, buymeacoffee.com. Richard Taylor. Very, very cool. So we got Thanksgiving this week, which is a big holiday in the United States, and I'm going to try to do a live stream with some people on Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. I haven't got everybody that I want there yet, but that's what I'm going to try to do. So look for that. We'll be talking about the summit, doing recaps, talking about our experiences, et cetera, et cetera. All righty. What do you think? Does everybody like Final Cut Pro 11? We absolutely want to give accolades to the Final Cut Pro team. And I want to give accolades to everybody out there who supported me on the live stream by watching and buying a coffee and everything else that you did. We had a lot of views, thousands of views between Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And they're still coming in. Very, very cool. So like I said, I'm going to be putting up more videos. I put up one. Did I put up one today? I can't even remember what I did. Live streaming. Let me see what I've put up. I don't even know. I can't keep track of everything. A lot of stuff is going to be, right now we're live, of course. Podcast videos. Unboxing. Expo night. I did a hotel tour at the Juniper. I'm going to do another one, an updated one of those. I redid it again. I love it, along with Motion Compressor new versions. Yes, they both had new versions. I don't even think they even mentioned Motion or Compressor. They did a long segment of Logic Pro, and I'm looking around when they're doing that, and all they're talking about is music and reverbs and instrument players, bass players, drummers, and not guitar players, drummers, bass players, and I think keyboard players, the new players they have in Logic. And I'm thinking most of these people are not going to be involved with that because most of them are not musicians. Although you can score yourself, even if you're not a musician, you can use limited versions of them to score, to create music for your films and presentations. That's one of the main benefits. That's one of the main benefits of using Logic Pro. Let's see what else we have here.
In their really beautiful theater. And
Turn this off. Trevor Horton, Mike's Horton's son.
and we were able to get over, so I got really worried. So, but no, I mean, yeah, this was certainly the best Apple experience, I think, of all of them so far.
Right.
So it was really cool. Yeah. Well, what'd you think? I mean,
yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, started with the theater. The features I thought are really, really good.
The media extensions thing for Blackmagic Raw, that's going to be a big deal.
It was funny how they introduced that. At the very end, it was like Steve Jobs going, oh, one more thing.
Right. It's kind of been a running joke at this point of like, when are we getting Blackmagic Raw support? When are we getting Blackmagic Raw support? And so to, throw that on stage at the end, like that was very fitting of them. And like, here it is.
Right.
So one of the things that was announced at the end of the presentation was you are going to get Blackmagic Raw support inside of Final Cut Pro with those new media extensions. Is that what it is? New media extensions in Sequoia. On the stage, Bill Davis from the Final Cut Pro team said, he did like a Steve Jobs, oh, one more thing. It was at the end of the presentation. and he said something to the effect of B-Raw either is coming or it's being developed by Blackmagic, or Blackmagic can develop it if they want to with the new media extensions in Sequoia. So you're finally going to be getting, it sounds like, B-Raw support in Final Cut Pro. That's something that they told us live. I don't know if it's any kind of release notes or anything. I don't know. I haven't seen it anywhere. Let me go down here. Something else I want to show you. Another thing. I think there's a long way for Final Cut Pro to evolve with AI features. I think Apple did a statement that Final Cut Pro is kicking and running. So, Final Cut Pro, look, Final Cut Pro 10 is the past. Final Cut Pro 10 is in the rearview mirror. Final Cut Pro 11 just started 2 weeks ago, and it's the future. Under the hood, what that means, I don't know. What they've done under the hood, I can't say what they've done under the hood, but I know it's a new version. They consider it a new version. It's no longer Final Cut Pro 10, so it's no longer FCP X, although that's still the hashtag over there on Twitter X. It's still a hashtag. It's been established for 13 plus years, so it's still going to reference Final Cut Pro, even though it has the X for Final Cut Pro. So what do we got here? So this is FCPX.TV, as you can see. And over here we have Final Cut Pro 11 master list, articles, tutorials, reviews. And you go there and click on that, and we have all these articles. We have the release notes for Final Cut Pro, user guide for Final Cut Pro 11. We have Creative Summit YouTube playlist, which is all my videos from the summit as a playlist. Here's Apple's video, our Final Cut TV live video, Steve Martin, Mark Spencer, the Final Cut Bro, Jen Jager, more Final Cut Bro. All these cool videos are in one place. They're all in one place. You don't have to go looking for them. I put them here because I want them. I want reference them as well. So you can go to fcpx.tv. This is your home for all things Final Cut Pro. Now, this is Final Cut. I'm not going to get rid of the X. That's not going to happen. So this is, I'm just going to change that because the white is reflecting back onto my face from the screen. This is the longest running Final Cut Pro 10 website in history. We've been running continuously since Final Cut Pro was developed, 13 years, fcpx.tv. I got that domain the night of the Super Meet. So 3 months before Final Cut Pro was released, I got that domain and set up the website. We've been running ever since then. Nobody else has a Final Cut Pro website that's lasted that long. Now, I base my site off of kenstone.net, if you remember, in a classic Final Cut Pro, and I have a lot of lists of things. I have tutorials as well, and I have, for example, I have a top request list, which is the list, top 100 things that Final Cut Pro needs. So finally, in the trolling timeline last year, we got that. 100 things that Final Cut Pro could use, different improvements. They take the Final Cut Pro team. Look at this Voice isolation in DaVinci Resolve. Look at this, how sophisticated it is. All these parameters. We don't have this in Final Cut yet. Logic Pro colors, all kinds of things. Suggestions. And here's one that they did incorporate that I've had it on this list for years. Drag an effect from the inspector and drag it down to a clip in the browser or timeline. Well, I've had that on the list for years, and they finally incorporated it. They look at this list. They've used this list. They took off the scrolling timeline last year. They took this off last year. There's all kinds of ideas here. Will everyone get implemented? I don't think so, but a lot of them have. I'd love to see dual timelines in Final Cut Pro. This is DaVinci Resolve that has dual timelines. So you can drag from one timeline to the other, clips, whatever you want, without arrow back and forth, arrow dance that you have to do now. Two timelines open at the same time. I'd love to see that in Final Cut. What else do we have? Let's go back here. We have troubleshooting, master lists. I have a feature parity checklist. This is not up to date. Final Cut Pro versus Final Cut for iPad. There's like 50 things that find the missing features in Final Cut for iPad 2. Some of these have been implemented. But there's a lot of features missing. Now, here's one of the things that they told us. I don't need that. They're not necessarily keeping feature parity with Final Cut on the Mac and Final Cut for the iPad. It was never their intention to keep them exactly on feature parity. They look at it as two separate apps. Final Cut iPad is always going to do things that Final Cut for the Mac can't, and vice versa. Now, I would buy Final Cut for iPad. I'm not going to rent it. I mean, I might at some point. I do have an iPad Pro. I might at some point give it a shot, but I'm not going to have this ongoing rental, over and over again. I'm not going to. This is what subscriptions are like now. Everywhere you turn, subscription. So I've heard this, a lot of people, motion is underestimated, absolutely. And I don't think they even mentioned motion at all this time. I don't think they even mentioned it. So I don't recall. But it doesn't seem like they mentioned it. So I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm excited about Final Cut Pro 11. Let me make a prediction. I expect Final Cut Pro 11.1 to be out probably before the end of the year. So at any point now, it's got some bugs to fix that I keep hearing referenced. It would not surprise me. I mean, a bug fix they can usually do fairly quickly, sometimes 2 and 3 weeks. Perhaps I would think they're going to put out a bug fix before Christmas, before they go on vacation for Christmas. That's what I would say. I've heard about bugs. Would it surprise me if they put out Final Cut Pro 11.1 with another feature or two, with transcribe to titles? And that wouldn't surprise me at all, and I'd be very grateful for that. I'd love to see that. Or if they don't do transcribe for titles immediately, give us the ability to limit the size of the caption file, because the Intelligent Assistant app plugin extension uses whatever the caption length is now. It uses that whole thing. So what happens is the captions are full sentences. So I don't want full sentence titles or captions. I wanted to limit it 14 characters. For me, that's what I do. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I'd like to see added either in the caption, limit the caption initially, or if they update the intelligent assistance extension to be able, I don't know if they can do that because it's using the caption and the caption is this long. I don't want it that long. Or 11.1, Final Cut Pro 11.1, whenever it comes out, fixes bugs and allows you to limit the size of the caption. That's all I like to see for right now because the Intelligent Assistance plugin is very, very cool. What you do is you make a title and format it the way that you want. You make a title, format it, text size, font, color, outline, no outline, shadows, whatever you want for the title, you make one of those, and then you drop the project into the extension, and you choose that title as a template that you formatted. Choose that title as a template, and then the Intelligent Assistant app will make titles based on that template of all the captions. Very cool. Kudos to Greg and Philip for developing yet another cool application. They were at the summit, of course. They were at the summit. Any other comments about Final Cut Pro 11? Any other questions about the summit itself? Like I said, I have a terabyte of data that I filmed at the summit. I'm not going to publish it all. I'm not going to publish 90 minutes of Michael Cioni. Strata filmed it. They had 2 cameras. I would be surprised if they put out the full 90 minutes, but they might. They might do it in 3 30-minute segments. So they had the good cameras. They had the high tripods, a good angle. I just did it, standing in the back of the room with my Lumix S5 Mark II X and my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I got good angles and good shots and all. And I'll put out a couple of Cioni clips and a couple of Fitness Plus. I also filmed Tyler Stallman's entire presentation, so I'll put out some of his clips. And I filmed a couple of other people, shorter segments, and I'll put out some of those clips behind the scenes, just give you a general feeling of what it was like to be at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Now I'm looking forward to Final Cut Pro Creative Summit 2025. It won't be announced for another 6 or 7 months, but I'm looking forward to that one. Any other questions? Any other comments? I'm going to settle into my Saturday afternoon, do some more editing. I am ecstatic with my Mac Mini Pro. Love it. Never had a Mac Mini before. But like I said, my MacBook Pro, this doesn't leave. This has been a desktop unit for 2 years, 3 years. So I didn't need another laptop. I got the laptop. I can take this with me to NAB if I go in April. I can take it back to the Creative Summit if I go next year. Mac Mini Pro is my new desktop. It's got Thunderbolt 5, which I'm ecstatic about. When I get that new Thunderbolt 5 drop from OWC, it's supposed to come in this week, I will be testing that out and using that. So I'll basically have, thank you very much, Mark. Great recap of the summit. This is ongoing. The summit recap will be ongoing. I'll be doing more videos and more videos. Just like I said, short videos. Even though I filmed the entire Michael Cioni thing, I'm not putting it all up. I'll put short videos, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute videos on the YouTube channel. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here and get ready to get some lunch and stuff. Thank you, everybody, for watching Final Cut TV Live and Coffee. Thanks to the Final Cut Pro team. Thanks to Future Media Conferences. Thanks to Apple for doing such a great job hosting us. It is really appreciated. You all did a fantastic job. You all did a fantastic job. I'm not done yet. I'm not done recapping the summit. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel, Richard Taylor TV, and we'll be posting videos for weeks going from now to the new year. And probably Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, we'll be having another live stream with some guests. I'm thoroughly satisfied with this update. Fantastic, fantastic. I am too. I'm excited. And this Mac Mini, thumbs up for the Mac Mini Pro. I got the Pro version with Thunderbolt 5. Looking forward to getting my drive from OWC. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Let's see if we can do, what is it that does the explosions? There you go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.